The moment that you neglect yourself and the moment that you neglect your needs is the moment that love leaves your connection. Something that a lot of people misunderstand about love is that sometimes it can look like leaving. It can look like silence and space. And a lot of people say if they wanted to, they would. No. Because if somebody genuinely cares about you and loves you, dude, they're not going to try to stay in your life. And that's something that I've been going through recently. Mostly, when I do say this, I mostly say it like I talk about romantic, like partnerships, but it doesn't have to be romantic. But in my particular circumstance, two people that I've been romantically involved with have left, and it was because they loved me. It was not because they didn't. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that about relationships and just connections in general. They're like, oh, well, if you love that person, you're going to stay, you're going to work it out. And yes, there is that aspect of things, but there's another aspect of things that if you stay in the same situation or the same loop, the same like communicative loop, or maybe like one person leaves and the other person stays, and then the other person, that person leaves and then the other person comes back, and it's like a back and forth of like a push and a pull. Like there's certain instances where when you stay in a connection, you're perpetuating doom. You're perpetuating the cycle. You're making it worse because you're staying. And a lot of people, they're like, well, love, it's just that love, it pursues, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Yes, but here's the thing: love perseveres through egoic need. Love does not persevere through bullshit or hard times that are so hard that one person is being suffocated and the other person doesn't care. Like, love doesn't persevere through self neglect. The moment that you neglect yourself and the moment that you neglect your needs is the moment that love leaves your connection. That's literally what it means when they say you can't love someone else until you love yourself. It's like if you literally don't have that self-respect to like leave somebody who's treating you like shit, or if you don't voice your needs, or if you don't voice your like how you feel, if you feel like your love is too much and you can't express it, that's bad. If you feel like your love is not enough, that's bad. If you feel like you're not enough for someone because of what you have or what you wear or what you look like, that's bad. Because literally then if you get into a relationship and you feel that way, no matter what they do, you're always going to feel like they need to reassure you in some way, and you'll never be able to feel reassured on your own. And then that's where I feel like people like that, when their partner leaves them, then they take it personal. They're like, oh, my partner left me, they don't love me, they must have not wanted it to work. But if you've done the work on yourself and you care about yourself and you love yourself and you really see the reason why that person left, it was not because they didn't want it to work out, it's because they did want it to work out, and maybe they still do. If someone loves you enough and is willing enough to leave when they would rather stay, because that's another thing too, is like people, they assume if their partner leaves them that they didn't want to stay. How do you know that? How, and why are you wrongfully assuming that person didn't want to stay? Like, you could assume either spectrum, that they wanted to stay or that they didn't, but most people lean towards like, oh, well, if they left, they didn't want to stay. Why don't most people entertain the fact that most people do want to stay, and it actually is taking every fiber of their being for them not to stay? That's what I've been through with people towards me, and also me towards other people. Like I've had to leave people that I adore, that I would go to the end of the earth for. I've had to leave just because I love them so much that I didn't want to keep doing the same thing with them over and over, and like make them feel hurt or make me feel hurt, and it like there's a certain level of self-awareness where you have to realize that there are certain things that are wrong with you and certain things that are wrong with someone else, and sometimes if that's not compatible, you gotta leave, take a step back, work on those things separately, and then you can come back together and see if maybe those puzzle pieces shifted a little while you were gone. But you should never expect that to be done together. And love can happen together and apart. And I have also learned that in some of my deepest friendships, where we've had issues and we've had to leave each other for months, weeks, months, hell, probably even years, to be honest. And, you know, we came back together and it was like we were different people. And that's a good thing. I don't necessarily want to know what happened in that gap that I was gone and that they were gone for them to, like, become the person they are now. All I know is they're a different person than they were when they left. So it's like, I don't know. I genuinely think love sometimes does look like leaving. And I think that people have got to be more reassuring and uplifting and respectful and supportive of when someone needs to leave a really loving connection. Yeah, it might not make sense on the surface. Like, oh, well, I love you. I want to work on this. Yeah, we all do, man. We all do. Well, I am a notebook lover at heart. I am a notebook lover at heart. But sometimes that space away from you is just, it's what's needed. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't even explain it either. Like, even I could go so far into depth as to what the reasoning of why I think that you need to be apart from somebody in order, like, I don't know. There's just something. It's like the whole life and death thing that I was talking about in the last video, where it's like you have to put morbidity into your perspective and believe that every day is going to be your last, so that way you look at things differently. It's like the same thing. It's like, instead of morbidity, you have to, like, believe that space is good for you, because there's something within space, just like there's something within death that, like, causes us to, like, take things, like, be more grateful for things. I'm not sure why, but there's all that same thing is, like, in space. There's just something in space that causes people to want to change, that it causes them to reflect, it causes them to not be stuck in it. There's just something about being stuck in something where you can't zoom out if you're in it, but if you zoom out, you take that space. Taking space allows you to zoom out from a perspective that you may have been suffocated in for months or weeks or years or however long. Like, people take space too personally. And I think we need to take space more seriously and more lovingly. Oh, you want to leave? That hurts. But I understand that you're doing it from a loving place. I understand that you're doing it because you know that you can't show up for me. I understand that you're doing it because you don't want to hurt me. I understand that you're doing it because you really care about me and you don't want things to continue the way that they have been going on as well. I understand that you want to do it because you want me to grow, because you want me to kind of go about things differently too, if things were to ever come back together. I'm not saying that, like, every single time you have space with someone, you should have the floaty, oh, well, they're going to come back because they left, because that's also unrealistic, so you shouldn't just assume that someone's going to come back if they leave, because a lot of people don't come back. Some do, and that's lovely, but the core of it, so the core of leaving should not be to get that person back. It should just be to become a better person and to be respectful and to be loving. It's taken me a long time to get here, because I used to not even have the self-awareness to know that I was the problem in a lot of stuff that I was in. I'd make people feel like shit, making myself, like, holier than thou, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing everything for you, why aren't you doing everything for me? But I was contributing to circumstances that were toxic from the beginning, so even though I was doing good things, and I just had too much of a self-righteous attitude towards things, when I was also, even though I was good for the most part, I had underlying intentions that I knew I was stuffing down to try and see if things could work. And it took me a long time to realize I was doing that. And I think that's what made me realize that people do love me too, because I've had to leave people that I love. So if I can love somebody and leave, then I know someone can love me and leave me. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But just know that. Sometimes if somebody leaves you, it is not because there's a lack of love. Um, Sometimes it's because there's an abundance of it.